videos, so I thought I would walk you guys through a bit of what my organizational system looks like and some tips for building your own. My organization system is mostly centered around the separation between my life as a student and my personal life. So for the student part of my organizational system, I use my academic planner, which is really essential for keeping me organized and helping me keep track of assignments. This is next week's schedule. What I do is I write down any academic related events, or for example tests or quizzes, and also assignments on here. And so I don't actually put any of these specific assignments from my academic planner onto my to-do list, which is tick, which I'll show later. Instead, I only have one task that's called complete homework, and that basically involves everything on my list. Next part of my organizational system for my academic part of my life is this folder here. And here I basically store all of the papers that I need. I have to clear this out every so often, and I put all the papers that I don't need at the moment into this binder. It's kind of more of a term-long storage of my old papers. And it's very helpful for me to keep these things instead of throwing them out. For example, I can look back at my old history papers and see what comments that my teacher made on them, so I can better write my next essay. The next part of my organizational system for my academic life is these notebooks. Basically what I do in this notebook is I take notes, but I also complete homework assignments. And I also use it as space for me to brainstorm stuff. And I also have this notebook too. This is for my math class only, because math class actually uses a lot of paper. And the final part of my academic organizational system is Notability on my iPad. I really like using Notability for music class. In addition to all that, I have OneDrive. I use OneDrive to store all my academic files, and it keeps it nice and separated from all of my personal files, which are on Google Drive. So I keep all of my files organized first by term, then by class. I named them very specifically with the date, and then if they're homework, or classwork, or a project, and then a title with a bunch of keywords about the file, which is really helpful if I need to find it later. As for my personal organizational system, I use tick, as I mentioned before, to keep track of all of my tasks. Here's an example of what my tick looks like. I have a bunch of tasks organized by priority, and I also have some smaller tasks down here, which are in my inbox actually. And the inbox feature allows for really quick capture of any tasks that come up to me suddenly, and I don't have time to give them a priority, set them into a list, or they're just really fast tasks and I don't think they need to be set in the list. I also have habits. Read fiction is a habit that I've been wanting to establish for myself, because I feel like I don't read a lot during the school year, which is not that great because I really love reading. And I also have other habits in here. The next part of my personal organization system is my calendar. So I use Google Calendar because I really like the reminders feature, and I think it actually looks a lot more aesthetic. And so, as you can see, I pretty much have a lot of my day planned out. Having a calendar helps keep me on track and helps keep me aware of what I can actually accomplish in a day. Because sometimes my to-do list is miles long and I feel like I can't accomplish it. Sometimes I'm right and sometimes I'm not. And the way I can figure out this is usually by creating a schedule for myself in Google Calendar. The next part of my organizational system is my Google Drive. I use Google Drive to store a bunch of personal documents. So for example, in my personal life, I really love writing fiction. So I have a full folder for writing. And lastly, I have Notion, which I'm not actually going to show on my iPad. But for Notion, I mostly store a lot of trackers. For example, I have this calendar that's dedicated to tracking all of my small wins and highlights. That's the purpose of my Notion. High temperature is 84 to 84. The next day the high temperature is 62. What the hell? Why? What is going on here?